Stick around. Joining us now is Representative Diana DeGette from Colorado. She grilled Barra during her testimony yesterday afternoon. Check this out.
GM is intending to replace all the switches for those cars beginning on April 7th. Is that right?
We will begin shipping material or new parts.
Now, are you going to put a completely redesigned switch, or are you going to put the old switches from 2006 into those cars?
It's going to be a switch that meets the...
Is it going to be a newly redesigned switch, or is it going to be the old switch from 2006?
It's the old design that meets the performance that's required.
And she joins us now to shed more light on the testimony. Representative DeGette, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. I'm trying to figure out what the end game really should be here and what we should try to do. Do we need to find either the individual or the group of individuals that we know signed off on letting this continue without a recall and bring them to justice, or do we need to change the culture of GM? Do we need to change the culture of all of corporate America? What do you think? What are we trying to accomplish?
Well, the main thing we're concerned about is how could GM have put switches in over 2.5 million cars that were defective, that the engineers knew were defective from the beginning and knew way back to 2001. We know of over 30 accidents. We know of at least 12 deaths. There are probably more than that. And what we're really concerned about is that this just seems to go on year after year with all the red flags coming up, but GM and the regulators didn't capture it. So that's what we're concerned about, is finding out why this took so long. Was it willful? Were they consciously not reporting this, or was there just some massive lack of communication within the company?
You figure the first ones that they put in, they had to figure out that they were defective, and then I guess as the cases trickle in, they're in denial probably for a while as to whether it's a pervasive problem. But
well, let me just say, the first ones they put in, their engineer tested them, and they said that they did not meet the minimum standards of specification. So they knew when they were putting them in those first cars that were made up until 2006 that they were well below the standards. Then they re-engineered the ignition switch in 2006. And even under the new re-engineered standards, all the cars between 2006 and 2011 fell short of those standards. So it wasn't just sort of like one of them came off the line wrong and then, oops. It was that they knew all along that these were substandard.
Congressman, were you satisfied with Mary's testimony? I mean, did you feel that she was forthcoming enough? And how do you consider when during a hearing like that, the legal considerations for somebody who's on the other side of the table, who has lawyers in their ears saying, don't say too much?
Well, I understand that Ms. Barra just took over the company in December, and I'm pleased with her response that says she's going to get to the bottom of it, that the buck stops here. I think all of that is good. What I was concerned about yesterday was when I was trying to ask her some basic questions about what happened, about the chronology of events, she stonewalled me with every question. And the reason that frustrated me was because I had gotten the chronology from documents that GM provided to the committee. So it was her own documents that she refused to acknowledge. And I just hope that the investigation going forward has a different tone than that stonewalling that we got yesterday.
And I do come back to, okay, so there's going to be these individuals, they probably exist somewhere, that somebody made the decision, right? Somebody was in charge of something that said, okay, let's keep putting them in. So we find them, we punish them. Does it really change the corporate culture of GM? And you know, if you're a person that thinks corporations are repeatedly going to try to cost cut to maximize profits, then the only thing you can really do is you got to have regulators that have teeth and that are on top of the situation, and you're focusing on the wrong entity. You got to go to the regulators and find out why they didn't know what was happening.
The first thing is that we need to have corporations who understand that a 57-cent part should not be an impediment to making the car safe.
We're not going to be we're going to be watching today, because I don't know. We got the ADP. It's a hard number that we got to get, so we got to end it here. I'm sorry to cut you off, but hopefully we'll talk again.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.